Welcome to the listening room, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and today I'm going to be ranking all 23 studio albums of the legendary hard rock and heavy band Deep Purple. This is an incredible band. 23 studio albums since the 60s from when they debuted. And every single one of these albums I really do enjoy. This may not be a typical list, though, because, my tastes might be a little bit different than everybody else's. But if every list was the same, it'd be kind of boring. But I am looking forward to this list because it covers all their material except for their covers album Turning to Crime, which was released in either 2020, I think 2021. And I don't usually include covers albums in band discographies just because it didn't really have much original material in it. So, regardless, this will not include that album, but everything else will be included. So, my least favorite, and this one, it's not a bad album. None of these are bad albums, but this one is not my personal favorite, and I think these two albums that I have as my least favorite are probably going to be viewed with fury, but it is what it is. Don't click off the list yet. Just because these are in the position they are in. So coming in at number 23, it's going to be The Book of Taliesin. Now, this is not a bad album. These 60s albums have Rod Evans on vocals. Deep Purple has had, I think, 3 vocalists throughout their career, if I'm counting correctly, but we're probably maybe we'll get to one where I'm not sure, but it's not bad. It just doesn't have it's not nearly as memorable as the other two 60s albums for me. And again, all these are this ranking has changed even since I put it together, and it probably will change as the years go by, so this is going to be interesting to re-rank it later down the road. Exposition, A and B, or track 4, Exposition, and We Can Work It Out. It's good. Kentucky Woman, it's good. Ring That Neck. But, for me, it's just not as memorable. Not at all saying it's bad, but it's just not... to me, it's not as memorable as the rest of the lineup. That's why it's down here. This next one, it was my least favorite before I heard Book of Taliesin, and then it bumped up one, and it's never been one of my favorites. This is a tumultuous time in the band, and they split up. It's gonna be Who Do We Think We Are? I don't know, because this is just not one of my favorites. Woman for Tokyo has grown on me a little bit, but it's not my favorite single. Mary Long is pretty good. My favorite's probably Rat Bat Blue. It's a good song. Super Troopers, pretty good. But again, this one doesn't... You have to follow up Machine Head somehow, and, this, to me, didn't follow it up very well. I think it sold okay, though, for what it was worth, but... it's just not my favorite. It has some remixes that I haven't listened to, instrumental, all that. But, it's okay. It's just not one of my favorite albums from the band. It's not a go-to. This next one usually is last place on people's list, just about. I should have been giving years for when these were released. Who Do We Think We Are was released in 72, I believe. I really probably should have the years pulled up here, because otherwise that's not going to be so great. Deep Purple. Go ahead and pull that up real quick, because if I don't, then I'm not going to... Let's pull that up real quick. Their discography. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright. So I should have done that before. Sorry, guys. But anyway. So Book of Taliesin was the second studio album released in the same year as Shades of Deep Purple. It was released in 1968, while who do we think we are with 73? My mistake. Oh my, I probably should have known that. But anyway, so my number 21 is gonna be Slaves and Masters, and in no way do I think this is a bad album, but this to me is a rainbow album disguised under the Deep Purple name. Not a good album cover though. Deep Purple does not usually have great album covers, admittedly. King of Dreams and The Cut Runs Deep are the two best songs on the album by a long mile. And then Fire in the Basement's pretty good. And then the rest does not hold up. I will say I've listened to The Cut Runs Deep so many times. It is a really great song. But it just does not hold up as well for me as the rest of the album does not hold up as well. And this had the Joe Lynn Turner on vocals. This is basically Joe Lynn Turner, vocalist for one of the vocalists for Rainbow, and of course Richie brought him over. And it just, the band wasn't really feeling it. You can tell that the band is in a weird time because Richie Blackmore, one of my very favorite guitarists of all time, and Ian Gillan could never get along, and so, or at least rarely got along, and he left just after how many times I don't know, and I'm not even gonna try to say which Mark lineup there are. There's like 7 or 8 at least Mark lineups on here, and I cannot really tell you which one's which, to be honest, after probably 3. And I just get confused because they have a lot of lineup changes. This one's number 21 though. Joe Lynn Turner is great on vocals, I will say. He's a great vocalist, but that was the only album he ever was on in Deep Purple on. Went back to Rainbow for one more album, I believe. One more. Yeah, 95. They haven't released one since. Next up is Bananas. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I don't like the album cover at all. Doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, Bananas, but why? You could have chosen other songs on this album, made a better album cover on this, like House of Pain. That's a great song. Sun Goes Down, Razzle Dazzle, Picture of Innocence, Contact Lost. It's a good closer. House of Pain's a great opener, by the way. So pretty, I don't know, I'm saying it's kind of overlooked in a lot of ways. Probably a lot of people don't know about this one. It's kind of hard to find this album, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. But, this was released in 2003. Yeah. Nobody's really listening to Purple at this time. They got more recognition on probably after Now What. Although Rapture of the Deep probably, actually, their follow-up album. Yeah, not a bad album. Shades of Deep Purple, number 19. This is the debut, also 1968. This is the first of 2 times that they released 2 albums in the same year. This was the debut. This is I don't know if this is an original or bootleg copy, but there's not really much to this CD, if I'm going to be honest. Sounds like it's broken somewhere. And the address is good. Hush, obviously, is amazing. That's a classic. Mandrake Root. I have a lot of covers on these early ones, which is not bad. They actually do really well with them. But, yeah, this is a good debut, I would say. But it's Rod Evans on vocals. Not indicative of what they would do later, though, for sure. That they would be a little closer on this one. I really like these early Deep Purple albums. It's the remastered edition. Probably has bonus tracks on it. Yeah. Blind is my favorite song on this album by probably a good bit. And it's probably my favorite of the Mark 1 lineup, the 60s group. I don't know if they ever did that live or not, but that's really cool. Chasing Shadows is good. The Painter is great. April, Lilena, there's not really. I like this whole album. This is honestly by far and away my favorite of the 60s ones, although I really do like Shades of Deep Purple. But I will say this band got better after, but do not overlook these early albums. They are really great and much unappreciated in a lot of ways. Rod was a fine vocalist. Next up is going to be... Man, I got all kind of stuff in my hair. I'm just coming out from work or something. Probably a little controversial to have this one as low as it is, because I really do like it a lot, but it's not... After re-listening to it, it didn't hit as much of a high for me as I thought it was going to. It's going to be Now What. This is the point where everything and up was really hard to rank. This one unfortunately fell a lot lower than I thought it was going to, but this is a great album. This one was released, and I should have said, I didn't say when this one was released. This one was released in '69. This one was released in 2013. And this is this one was dedicated to John Lord. I believe he was an original member of the band. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was. Simple Song's a great way to open the album. Where to Stand, Above and Beyond's a great song. Blood from a Stone, Uncommon Man. Ends with Vincent Price if you don't have the bonus track edition, which is a phenomenal song. It'll Be Me. You know, this band went and toured Rapture of the Deep for years. And then 2 years later, they released this. I think the Rapture of the Deep live stuff, that tour was like 2005 to 2011, I think. It's a long time. It was like a 6-year tour. It was a worldwide tour. And I'm sure it was successful, or they wouldn't have kept doing it. But this is they settle down and they return with this. And this had a lineup change on it, and I can't remember who it was. But nonetheless, it's really great. And now guitarists have also changed for a while. So this is in the Steve Morse era. Ritchie Blackmore is not the only guitarist. There have been 3 of the main ones. Ritchie Blackmore, Steve Morse, and Simon McBride is the newest one. And Steve Morse, his albums are more progressive rock for sure. They're great nonetheless. They are definitely not as hard rocking as Ritchie's was, which is not a bad thing. This is still the Rapture of the Deep. This is the other C. Wait a minute, because that's the next one. I got a little bit ahead of myself, folks. Sorry about that. Been a late day. Rapture of the Deep is next for me, though. This is the remix, which honestly takes it from being a little bit of a muddy production to really bright and sounds really great. I like this one a little bit better than the Now What. Simply, I mean, Money Talks is great. I love the song Rapture of the Deep. That's a great rocker. But my favorite on here is clearly Quite Absurd. When I first heard that song, I was really blown away by how beautiful it was. It's a really great song. MTV, Junkyard Blues. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is that very successful tour that lasted for like 6 years. It is a great album. I recommend it. And they honestly were a little bit, they were these Steve Morse albums ever since they reunited with Bob Ezrin on Now What, especially. The production's been really good, and they've done a great job. It's been a great merger. Next up is going to be in that same line, Steve Morse era Whoosh, 2020 release, which is 15 years after Rapture of the Deep. Not that there weren't albums in between. Rapture of the Deep was 2005. Throw My Bones is one of the late Deep Purple album songs that I remember really liking when I first heard it. Drop the Weapon's great, though. Long Way Round They do an And the Address redo from their early 60s. No Need to Shout. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. The Deep Purple outside of the 70s is still amazing. I know there's 70s stuff is the classic stuff, but outside of the 70s, they're still really great, and they're still really doing great to this day. 2017, Whoosh. That's not Whoosh, that's Infinite. 2017 Infinite. This has Time for Bedlam. It's awesome. Hit Boots. The surprising is really, honestly, no pun intended, but I was surprised by how great that song was. That is a really cool song to listen to. Johnny's Band, Roadhouse Blues. Infinite is a great album. I listened to a lot of these last year in September, October, when we went on a family trip up to Michigan. And beautiful state, by the way. But I have great memories of listening to this and a lot of these other Deep Purple albums. That's where I really listened to most of them, was on that trip, and I really loved it. Next up at number 13, and I'm surprised this one could be higher at some point. This is the first album with Steve Morse on it, and he did a really great job filling in for Richie. He's not the same guitarist, but he does a really good job putting his own in there. Perpendicular. That's really hard to see. That's even hard to see for me. Goodness gracious. Oh, that's falling apart. Ted the Mechanic. Vavoom Ted the Mechanic is a great way to open it. Loosen My Strings is great. Soon Forgotten and the incredible Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming. What a great song that is it not? It is so great. So delightful to listen to. I'm trying to find where that track is on here. I think it's on here. The Aviator is awesome. Love that song. Oh man, what a great song. Somebody Stole My Guitar. You know, this album crushes it. Ian Gillan sounds rejuvenized, and it is just a phenomenal album to listen to. Okay, next up, one that doesn't usually make it this high at this point is going to be the House of Blue Light, 1987. Perpendicular was released in 1986. This one was released in 87. Bad Attitude is a great way to open the album. This is on the reunitement of Ian Gillan and of the whole Deep Purple 70s Mark II lineup, and Ian Gillan and Richie Blackmore, second album. And on the reunion, The Unwritten Law, Call of the Wild. Spanish Archer is good. But my favorites on here, honestly, are Mitzi Dupree and Dead or Alive. Those are the last two songs on the album. They're really good, in my opinion. This was, most people don't really have that one very high up, but The House of Blue Light, honestly, is an amazing album for me. As is this next one, which most people hate. Even Richie Blackmore hated it. But I don't care. The Battle Rages On. I love this album. Really surprised me how much I like this album. Battle Rages On opens it up. Title track is awesome. Look It Up's good. Anya's my favorite. That's one of my very favorite Deep Purple songs, though. Oh my goodness, what a great song. Just it's got rockin', it's got a nice acoustic at the beginning and end. So good. Time to Kill. Twist in the Tail. One Man's Meat is not my favorite, though, I will say. The rest of the album does a lot better than that song. That one, to me, has some issues. That's the best album cover, in my opinion, that they ever did, though. Outside of probably the next one, which is going to be... I'm having a really hard time deciding between these two albums, if I'm going to be honest. And I might make a switch here, actually. So this is not the best album cover that they have, but this is Equals One. 2024. Simon McBride. So well at filling in for Steve Morse, who left the band. My goodness gracious. What an incredible job. This should have been the album artwork, though. That's way better. I don't know why the heck they didn't do that. Show Me. Sharpshooter's awesome. Portable Door. If I Were You, Pictures of You. Lazy Sod, Now You're Talking. No Money to Burn. Bleeding Obvious is the best song. It was very indicative of what the band was gonna do. Now this one probably would be a little bit higher. Honestly, I really probably should put this one a little higher. But I would say this one edged it out by a touch, but I have a strong suspicion that, like, a few years' time, that this one's going to be higher, and this one's going to be a touch, this next one's going to be a touch lower. But for today, Splat comes in at number 9. We are top 10 people. Most recent studio album, 2026. Really what did it for me, Arrogant Boy and Diablo. The Lunatic, Sacred Land, Guilt Trippin', Scribblin' Gibberish, even Jessica's Raw, Third Call, and final song Splat. And the other tracks are great as well, but every single song punched it. They did such a great job with this. I am very impressed with this album. Obviously, I have it in the back there, signed by the band, but this is the best album artwork. It's just about that they've ever done. So great stuff. Love that album. Love it. This one shocked me though. This next one, coming in at number 8. I heard it and I loved it, and I could not believe I've never heard this one, but you cannot find it on streaming, so that's probably why. I buy CDs and I like listening to them, but, you know, on days when I can't listen to CDs at work and all that kind of stuff, you gotta listen to something. So I turned this on the other day and was thoroughly blown away. It's gonna be Abandon. 1998. Successful tour in Australia, 99. And I like every single song, but I can't. But my favorites, Any Fool Know That's pretty good. Almost Human. Seventh Heaven is awesome. Watching the Sky is amazing. Fingers to the Bone is probably one of my my favorite song on here. 69, Eva Louie is a great way to almost finish it of the regular material, but they redid their song Bloodsucker from In Rock, and it's really good. Ian Gillan doesn't hit the highs he has. He never did after probably 83, but he does a great job, honestly, on this. This is a really good album. Please check it out, guys. Come Taste the Band. Yeah, that's a good one. Coming Home. Love that opener. Lady Luck. Dealer. Love Child. I mean, this is a great album. And this has Tommy Bolin was the 4th guitarist that I forgot about. When I looked at that, he's the lead guitarist. That's the only album that he did with Deep Purple. David Coverdale did, and Glenn Hughes did the lead vocals, depending on the song. They were the vocalists. They're amazing. David Coverdale was the lead singer of Whitesnake. Glenn Hughes did an album for Black Sabbath and his solo stuff, and probably other bands that I didn't realize. But Come Taste the Band. Phenomenal album. Love it. We're getting into the 70s classics. No surprise. Fireball comes next. The title track's so memorable and great. I love it. No, No, No. Probably can't play Anybody's Daughter again. Normally, but it's really good. The Mule. Fools, Strange Kind of Woman, No One Came. Whole album's great. Love it. Had this one higher at one point, but we're in the top 5 here. so I'm glad it made it. But the first two albums with Coverdale and Hughes when they came in are so great. So great. I'm gonna go with Stormbringer at number 5, 1974. This was 71. Stormbringer title track has been one of my favorite songs by them. Love Don't Mean a Thing's great. Lady Double Dealer is very memorable. Holy Man's a good song. I didn't realize how underrated that one is. The Gypsy. Oh mercy. What a beautiful song. So good. So good. I absolutely love the guitar work that Ritchie does on this. So memorable and great. Soldier of Fortune, the album is good. Definitely great. Man, I love this album. Underrated. In my opinion. It's a UK copy. Interesting. Number 4 would have been my number 1 years ago. As I've re-listened to this catalog multiple times, I realize, man, it's so great, but as of right now, I have to put a few more albums above it, but 1972. Their biggest selling album, Machine Head, simply probably because of Smoke on the Water, which is a great song. It's not the best one on the album, but I really like that song. Highway Star was a great way to kick it off. Maybe I'm Leo's awesome. Pictures of Home. So good. Might be my favorite on the album. It's just really nice. Lazy and Space Dragon close the album. Yeah. I've listened to this from start to finish more than any other Deep Purple for sure. I don't really get sick and tired of listening to it though. It's really, really good. I love it. Next up for me is going to be probably what most people's number 1 would be, but and might have been number 1 at one point for me. Definitely top 2. It's fallen a touch, but I really like it a lot still. It's In Rock. Deep Purple In Rock. I think it's technically the whole thing's called Deep Purple In Rock, but anyway. Speed King opens it up is awesome. What a way to start off with Ian Gillan just screaming it up on vocals and just the impressive, great guitar work of Ritchie Blackmore and just the rest of the band being on fire. Bloodsucker. That is the song I was talking about earlier. This is the original. This is the best version. Child in Time is a classic. There's more songs than Smoke on the Water. If most people probably didn't realize that, but you know, as I checked out this band, yeah, there's better songs than Smoke on the Water, and there's more to this band than Smoke on the Water. That's not indicative of their whole career. Into the Fire, Hard Loving Man. This album's insane, by the way. That I do like as the album cover, though. Very classic. That is a classic album cover. What an excellent job. I'm just going to look at the... He says so well. Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, John Lord, and Ian Pace. And they did not really get much better than this. Too often. My number 2. It's kind of hard. His top 3 were hard. Really top 5. But Byrne's going to take it. Ian Gillan's out. This band should be done. Because their success from Machine Head, they are, you know, Who Do We Think We Are was okay. And then they crush and burn with Ian Gillan leaving. The band should be toast. And he wasn't the only one that left, actually. Was it Ian? It wasn't Ian Pace. It was, why am I forgetting all of a sudden? Roger Glover. The band should be dead by now. Nope. I actually don't mind that album cover. I think it's pretty decent. probably not considered good, but it's decent. Title track is Legendary. What an incredible title track that is. Might Just Take Your Life. So good. Lay Down, Stay Down is pretty good rocker. But track 4 comes in. When I first heard Sail Away, I was blown. This album shot so high up in the ranking. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be up there. Wow, what a beautiful, utterly beautiful song that is. So good. You Fool No One. Street is great. A200 closes the album. It's not my favorite closer they ever did, but it's decent. It's decent. But this album as a whole, so good. Gotta check out the very first album that was in 1974, so a year after Who Do We Think We Are. They kept right on going all the way through the 70s up until Come Taste the Band ended in 1975. And that's it for Deep Purple, right? No. They were reunited in 1984 for what is, in my opinion, the greatest reunion album of all time. Outside of probably ABBA's Voyage, honestly. But I guess they just called it quits after a while, and it was the same band that came together and did something again. But this one brought the original Mark II lineup back together. Perfect Strangers. It's actually the tour shirt that I'm wearing right now. World Tour 1975 is when they did that, but they released this in 84. Ian Gillan was fresh out of Black Sabbath, and Rainbow had been successful up to this point. They, I think, had released one album the year prior or so, but Black Sabbath with Ian Gillan honestly did pretty well with Born Again, but that's where I would say Ian Gillan blew out his voice, or he did something, because he never sounded the same again. But even though he wasn't the screechy Ian Gillan we're used to, he still crushes it on this album, because every single song is phenomenal. And it's been interesting because Knocking at Your Back Door really opened my eyes to how great Deep Purple could be, and I absolutely love it. Love that song. I could not stop playing that when I first heard it. But the rest of the album, as I've listened to it, still really holds up well. It doesn't have a really, really strong song that just plummets, which is what I kind of thought this album did for a long time. And then when I really heard it a couple years later, I'm like, yeah, this has more than just Knocking at Your Back Door. Because Under the Gun's great. Nobody's Home is awesome. Mean Streak, man, what an underrated song. That is so good. And then we have Perfect Strangers. The title track is so great and excellent. And we have Gypsy's Kiss is amazing. Wasted Sunsets, Hungry Days. Not Responsible is really fun. That's a great song. I didn't realize Son of Alaric was a bonus track. I always thought that one was the closer. That's the bonus track. Really? Not Responsible is a great way to close the album, though. That probably would have been, interesting. If that's the closer, then that's probably their best closer. Really good. Check this out. Phenomenal record. Really enjoy it. But anyway, whether this is your ranking or not, this isn't a typical ranking. But thank you all for bearing with me as I rank all 23 studio albums of Deep Purple. Really great band. That was a delight to listen to, and I'm gonna do it again sometime. Maybe I'll rank them in a few years' time if I ever get around to it again, but if not, I really enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope to do more rankings soon, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.